お前は一体何なんだ。お団地だ。
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Illusion Connect video here on For Misery Gaming, and today we're going to finally talk some strategy of preparation for the Miracle Mode. Now, I'm not sure how long this is going to go for. I thought maybe it was a month-to-month thing from what I heard, and this started like near the end of November, and we're into December now, and it is still up for the Musupala and Phoenix class, so I'm not sure if this is maybe it does a full complete month, like 30 days from when it's released, if that's gonna happen, or if it just goes on longer than a month. I don't know. We'll see by the end of December if this is still active or not for these two specific factions. But anyway, we're gonna talk about not necessarily a top 10 video today, but we're gonna be more talking about like what should you be going about for investing in this specific season. So for the Musupala season, that's going to have a lot of the starter characters, and then the Phoenix is actually going to have probably collectively maybe the best overall pool of characters when you break it down for to use for this event. So you can deploy those two classes, and then your partner bonus, so you're going to get 100% HP on any tank characters. So any of the tanks like Selena, Victoria, those units are going to get extra. So let's go to the album. Let's go over the characters first. Now, for some reason, I would like to just go to the partners thing and use the faction sort, but for some reason, when I faction sort, it doesn't sort it correctly by faction. So the album is an easy way for we can have a snapshot of all the characters, kind of go over briefly which ones are really solid to invest super high value into and which ones maybe medium value into. So let's start with the Musupala clan. If I'm not pronouncing that correct, I don't care. You guys can crucify me in the comments as I get it all the time in my videos. So anyway, starting off, we have our girl Seiya, the starting character. So obviously, probably most people have done some sort of investment in her. Like mine's level 100. Once I started really kind of getting a lot of different SSR characters and other SR characters, I did kind of neglect her a little bit. But she still did perform decently well. She was able to get a lot of kills in a lot of the different levels in the Miracle Mode, which got me to pretty high. In the last two, I believe in the A Final Dream, I'm on stage 10, and then the other Final Dream, I'm on 8. So I did pretty decent so far, and I mean, I can always reset and retry, but I'm going to really work on some more of my units before I go further. But Seiya is very good as a single target DPS. She does a lot of damage. She has an instant kill factor, so we'll go over more into detail her. So I would say for Seiya, I would say you could get her probably to about 200s pretty safe. You get her to an SSR for free in the game once you guys reach a certain point in story. To note though, do not be overbuying her daily pack if you guys want to spend the $2 to get her shards. You can actually not use her shards to get her lens upgrade, and for that reason, she's a 5.5 for me. It's kind of unfortunate. You cannot use any Seiya shards to increase her dust for lens, you know, all that kind of stuff. You can only use them to actually get the star unlock. Next, we go into Nina. Nina is a very solid sorcerer. She's still probably one of the top in the game as far as like usability for a free-to-play stance. So she's very good. She does line sorcery damage. So I would say for Nina, if you're free to play, you may want to consider bringing her all the way to like 200, 240. If you guys are a spender, she may cycle out in time in like your main comps as we get more and more sorcerers. So you may want to maybe only get her to like, I would say like when the EXP gets really rough is like when you get into the 200 range. So maybe get her to like 120 to 170 is a pretty good buffer of where you want to invest in her. So keep in mind also, right now in the game, we cannot SSR her. So she is kind of capped at that point. Next, we have Victoria. So Victoria is definitely probably going to be one of the better tanks you guys can use. She has a taunt built in. So she's very, a very stable unit. She's not like super powerful like Selena is. She's not nearly as good as Selena, but a very good free-to-play option. If you're completely free-to-play and you do not have Selena built up, Like I said, I believe mine is like a 4-star or 4.5 star, something like that. Not an SSR either. You cannot get her SSR yet unless you want to use her in the Arcana, which I don't recommend doing. But yeah, I think she's probably similar to Nina. I would say she's like a 120 to 170 range as far as investment goes, depending on your account, obviously. Next, we have Anna. Now, Anna, if you even have her 3-star, you want to go all out. Like, Anna is the best de facto healer in the game. She has built-in rage recovery. She just does an absurd amount of healing to keep you alive. And in this mode, she is a complete godsend. She is just absolutely ridiculous of what she provides to the team. So from here, I'm going to go into my partners to kind of cap this up. Because I do have her 5-star, so I can actually go into her kit a little bit for you guys. So if we go into this, when she is present, she grants all allies a damage increase rate. And if you deploy 5 different classes, she's also going to give you a damage rate increase for that. Her unique skill is going to restore HP to all allies and restores rage to herself. Her special skill is going to deal damage as well. And when you guys do enter her lens upgrade, I believe it is on her 6-star, she restores rage more. So she restores more rage on Sound of Nature, which is her special skill, when you guys get her to 6-star. So she becomes even better then. So yeah, it's just absolutely monster. When I get her to 6-star eventually, then she's going to perform even better for me. So next, let's go down the list. We can go down to Jasmine. Jasmine's very solid as well. I would say probably around the same range as Nina and Seiya. I would say she's like a good, Victoria and Nina. I say she's a very solid, 100 to 170. She is going to get definitely outclassed eventually. And, the thing with this mode is you just want to have access to as many decent units as you can. So she does do some an attack all units in the same rank increases attack of all units same rank by 11%, and then her defense by 44%. And then on her main skill, she's going to deal 330% damage and restores HP to attack of the ally at the lowest HP. So obviously she's not a multi-heal, so that's why she is held back a little bit, but she does provide some heal. And then she has some heal as well on her special. So both of her skills do have heal. They are just single target. So for that fact, she's not the best. In her lens upgrade, you guys go to here. She's going to increase defense on her level 4. On her level 5, she's going to restore HP, basically just a percentage increase on her EX. So, and the fact that she only does go to 5-star is, again, what does hold her back as well. So, but, she's very easy to get unlocked. She's a regular banner SR, so she's not too hard to max out. So that's pretty cool there. So if we go into... So let's go back into faction here, try to sort this a little bit. See what I mean? It doesn't really sort perfectly for you. So after that, let's go into, I believe, let's go back into the Phoenix class. So let's go back into our album real quick. Because pretty much Anne here is going to be a summoner. So she's going to be good for stalling. So I would say her as well is probably going to be like the 120 to 170 range. You could invest in her. Polly probably is going to be a back burner. She's probably one of the weakest of the healers, just simply because she's an R unit. She can only go to 4-star. She's not going to get a lot of lens upgrade capabilities, so I would say definitely on the back burner for you. And then Alice, once again, another R unit. She's decent. She does a damage increase rate up as a support ability, but not fantastic. So once again, I would probably hold off to not investing too much into these guys until your other units are built up. Save your R's for like the last little bit of buffing. So we go into Phoenix. We don't even have to talk about Miyuki and Phoebe. All right, so anyone that was sleeping on Phoebe before, you guys know how amazing she is. She has an invincibility deploy. She's got defense down AoE debuff. She hits decently hard. She has 2 lives. She has a built-in revive. She's just insane. So yeah, guys. And she even gets a heal on her special skill for herself and the leader when she's 6-star. So she's insane. If any of you guys were neglecting Phoebe, only having her at 3-star, start bringing her into your Arcana. start working on her. She's definitely worth it. Miyuki is probably the best overall unit for overall content in the game. She's gonna get an awakening, hopefully in a couple months. So she's the only character that has AoE built-in rage reduction. So she's gonna demolish this event. So these two classes actually, despite that, Musupala is like pretty underwhelming outside of maybe like units like Anna. The Phoenix class just has an absurd amount of quality units. So there's so many units you can go with in Phoenix. So definitely Miyuki, Phoebe, Selena, all those characters you want to completely max out. I would say Gagaku is even up there as well. Gagaku has line AoE damage, and then she also has brings in minions as well in a line as well. So or in a column, sorry. So she's super good. Hotaru has line damage, I believe, as well. I'm not too familiar with her. She's harder to get. She hasn't had a rate up yet, so I would say probably not invest too much in her because you probably have enough line damage units that you can get easier built up. Brooke, very underwhelming unit. I don't really like her kit too much. I wouldn't invest too much in Brooke as well. Unless you guys went super hard on her banner and you can get her at least to a 5-star. I feel like she needs to have her awakenings to be even remotely good. Diana is a very solid character. She's got decent damage for a healer. She's got a one-time heal on your leader, and then she has other healing abilities as well. I would say if you can get her to 4 to 5-star, get her to about 200. I think she's going to do well at 200 level for you. Then we have Gigi here. Gigi is great because she activates the Hunter ability for your leader ability. So she's very good. She's a DPS with stun ability. So she's a very good single target crowd control unit. So super good there. Then you guys have your Penny is going to give you, basically you don't have to invest in Penny, but she's very good to use in comps because you play her out and then you're going to get random units in your hand are going to have damage rate or damage increase when they are deployed. So it's very good to use her like when you can get your Miyuki in your hand, and hopefully you don't have a lot of other characters, so Miyuki gets that buff to just let her command the board. So very strong unit there as well. And then Ming. Ming is actually super good for this content if you can get her to survive, because she's going to give all your units basically kind of like auto regen, like healing whenever they do action. So they do normal attacks, special attacks, ultimate attacks. They're going to get healing off of that. So she's super good to level up. I would say, honestly, if you can, if you're not like working on other units taking priority, get her definitely 200, 240. I feel she's worth that. So those are my overall unit reviews of like what you should work on them. But honestly, guys, the best thing you can do for all this content is to invest in your gear. The gear investment is going to be where you're going to shine. You want to get as many SSR and SR gear to level 60 as you can, if you guys can clear through that to get those materials in the collapse mode. Just simply because there's no downside. Like Epic 7 charges you, money, whatever your in-game money currency is, to unequip and re-equip gear. There isn't a problem with this. So if you have, like, let's say you have 2 or 3 sets of gear per class that's super well built and it's good for your teams, then bring in units of that class. Bring in 1 or 2 swords, bring in 1 or 2 summoners, bring in 1 or 2 light characters, bring in 1 or 2 sorcerers, 1 or 2 spellcasters, things like that. And that way you're not so hunkered down on getting those levels to like the 170 to 240 range. You can be more adaptable and use like level 80 characters, use level 100 characters, things like that, to where it's a lot easier for you to survive and to clear those floors if you guys have those built up. But in a nutshell, what I would say is, like, on the characters to definitely focus on would be like Anna, Seiya, Miyuki obviously, Phoebe obviously, Selena, and Ming. I would say those are like the top 6 characters, like, in a nutshell, and I'll do a more in-depth video probably in a couple days or maybe even tomorrow on, the overall units to invest in for Miracle. But honestly, the best thing to take away, invest in your leader. My leader is now completely maxed out, so he's level 60. I can't, until they raise the player rank cap, I can't enhance him anymore. So get your leader built up as much as you can, because him being able to survive and deal damage is going to be insanely helpful as well in Miracle mode. So I would say leader and gear are the top two things to do. And then once you guys are done with that, then it's to like finite characters you're not using in your main squads to build them up a little bit so they're a little more effective in this mode. Now keep in mind, guys, this is not meant to be a sprint. You clear all the floors mode. Like, I'm a pain player and I'm still not even close to clearing out Final Dreams on both A and B. So this is a marathon. So don't take this as like day one. And this event's been out for almost 2 weeks now, so it's definitely going to be staying around for a bit, or it's going to come back down the road. So definitely don't take this as like I need to invest in 25 different units and go crazy and not have resources and all that stuff. I would still say focus primarily on your main team. Once your main team's completely built up to where you can get it, then, you know, divert your focus to other things. But work on your gear. Like, that's the number one thing you want to use with your resources, with your stamina, with your gold, things like that. And then after that, after all your pieces are built up for what you need them for, then you can go ahead and work on some other characters like we mentioned before, of units you may want to get to 140 to 200 to 170 range. So that's going to be the video, guys. I hope my advice was somewhat helpful to you guys of some characters to think about working on down the line if you guys haven't yet. And let me know what you guys thought. If you guys have any other questions, comments, concerns about the Miracle Mode, please drop those in the comment section down below. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you all in the next video. Later.